Hey guys, Jared with Trident Fly Fishing, and today we're going to tie a cool little pattern. We're going to tie the surf candy using Loon's UV fly finish. It makes it a lot quicker and a lot easier to tie. We're going to get started right now. So in the vise today, I have an Arax NS 172 in size 6. And what I'm going to do is just start my thread, which I am just using mono. I'm just going to create a base so the epoxy has something to bite into. And then I'm going to grab the material for the body, which is going to be polar flash. So basically what I'm going to do is start the pearl on the bottom. And I'm just going to grab a chunk, maybe 20 fibers or so, and then cut it nice and flush so I get a clean tie-in point. I'm going to tie this on the underside of the hook, which is a small hook, so I'm going to sneak it in there. Oop. Just get that on the underside. Just going to grab my butts here and trim them off. Alright, cover those up. Okay, so the next color is going to be gray. So I'm just going to grab another chunk about the same size. Do the same thing, cut my butts flush to create a tie-in point. And I'm going to tie this right on top of the hook shank. And bring it all the way back. And what I'm doing here is just creating a little body by bringing it back and then forwards. Just to give this a little bit of depth. Okay, so I'm going to pull that forwards. Tie it down, and then I'm going to grab my pearl and pull that forward as well. And then tie that off. So now I'm going to wrap through this and just bind all these fibers down and create a nice underbody. Alright. So advance your thread. I'm going to pull these back again, keeping the darker color on top and the lighter color on bottom. And then I'm just going to hold these here. Make sure it's all where I need it to be and just advance my thread through. So this step here, I'm going to get rid of anything that's kind of errant and is going to stick out. Okay. So my next step is going to be to grab my UV epoxy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a light coating on this. Kind of get in here under my flash, just get it to bind down, and this is just going to hold everything real quick. Just going to spread it around. This is going to be my first coat, so I'm just going to use it nice and lightly, and then I'm going to hit it with my light when it looks good. And then I should be able to let go of my flash. I'm going to continue to just coat this with a nice light coat, and I'm just going to build up the body a little bit with a light layer, and then I'm going to stick my eyes on. So for eyes, I have fish skull living eyes and ice. They're 3 mil. Just going to place them on there. They're little, so they're kind of hard to get on. And then I'm going to move them to where I need them before I hit the light. Make sure they're even on both sides. put a light coat over them. Okay, so they look pretty even. I'm just going to hit them with my light so they hold the position. Then I'm going to come back through here in just a second and do my final coat of epoxy. So this is going to be my thickest coat, and what I'm trying to do is just build up a nice, even, round, tapered body. And I might bring it back a little bit into the flash here so it doesn't foul. You have to use a little bit more than you think. Come in underneath. Just gonna whip finish real quick and get my thread out of the way. Continue to just spread my epoxy around. And kind of hit all the low spots and high spots. I'm going to hit it with my light real quick, and then I'm going to add a little bit more. The best thing you can do when you're tying these is just add epoxy a little bit at a time. So you don't just gum a bunch of it on there and try to spread it around. I find it easier if you do it in layers, and I think it cures a little better too. And to me, using light cure epoxy has made this process a lot easier rather than using 5-minute epoxy that, is all we had a couple of years ago. You know what? That looks pretty good. I think that's just about it. You can kind of go and make this perfect. To me, this is a working fly, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to trim this to length. The nice thing about using synthetics is I can cut it longer than I may need it and then trim it on the water. So I'm going to add a little bit of a taper. So that's it, guys. That's a variation on the surf candy, and we're going to be giving this fly away. If you just leave a comment below, let us know what you think of the fly, let us know what we should tie next, and we'll choose somebody to win the fly. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're notified of all of our future fly tying videos, and we'll see you next time.